Hi Amiga users, today we're going to look at the Raspberry Pi 400 Amikit XE and why I think it's a glimpse of the potential future for the Amiga. So right here I'm just going through all the different features and pre-installed apps that you get with the operating system. I've only had this operating system for a couple of days. It's been a great little system on the Pi so far. There's been a few little bugs here and there and a few little crashes, but as you can see, the user interface looks awesome. I think it feels like Amiga OS 4 to me. It feels like how a future Amiga should be. And keeping elements of the past in there as well, which is what I like. I want to see the Amiga be pushed forward to the future, and I also want to be able to go back and use some of the old classic apps that I knew as I've grown up. I know, and you've got things like this, the rabbit hole feature that allows you to boot up things like Chrome and go onto YouTube and watch videos. Now the Pi isn't quite fast enough for everything, as you'll see here in this video. I'm just going to hide myself. I don't know if you noticed that there's a few drop frames here and there now and again. It's not 100% smooth. I feel that maybe some tweaks here and there in how the Linux side of the Raspberry Pi works on this build might help, but it's pretty damn good. It's pretty close. And as you can see here, this is an emulated version of Hollywood. I'm surprised how well it ran all these slide shots and all these features. I think it's pretty impressive. I think it's pretty impressive that it can do all these effects so smoothly, so easily on a Pi hardware, on the Pi400. And you know, this gives me ideas for potential future. I mean, imagine if Amiga OS was natively to a Raspberry Pi. It'd be awesome. It'd be just, I think it's a natural place that the Amiga OS should be. I understand all the legal complications, all the work that would be required, the money, you know, and it's a shame that OS 4 is stuck on PowerPC, but I kind of do feel that ARM is the future for Amiga, and judging by what I'm seeing here with just emulation on a Pi400, you know, messing around with the gears 3D effect here, it's pretty impressive by what you can do. I'm going to load up a more complicated one here, and as you can see here, this is clearly struggling now with these effects, but I do think with more tweaks and more effort, even with the existing hardware, the performance could be improved. I mean, this is like the first release for this system. I'm hoping that they keep improving it and keep improving, because there are bugs here and there, like I say, but for playing like when you come to the more classic stuff and stuff that was designed for just the 90s, it's awesome. And as you can see, we've got iGame, that's an easy Amiga game launcher. I'm going to play a little bit of Lemmings here. I'm just going to hide myself again. So as you saw there, Lemmings and a lot of the old classic games play perfectly. But you can also run some of the more modern games and modern stuff. I believe this is me attempting to run Quake. Or no, I changed my mind. I went for Doom because I didn't get Quake quite set up yet. And this is Doom running on the Pi again. This is a native Amiga port running. So this is like a PC port ported to the Amiga, running an emulation on the Pi, and it's running smoothly. Okay, the resolution is quite low, but we're up to over 30 frames, and it's perfectly playable like this. And if anything, feels more like the past of how these games ran on the Amiga. So I think it just really does give me hope for the future of what the Amiga platform could be. And yes, even Quake 2 have been ported to the Amiga. I've shortened down the loading time here because it is a bit long on the Pi. I don't know why that is, because on my Windows machine it does load up a lot quicker. But again, I'm surprised by how fast and how smoothly this runs. Again, you've got to remember that this is within an emulation running on top of the Amiga OS operating system, and it runs as good as it runs amazingly smooth. And I think it runs as well as I've seen Quake 2 on my Amiga X1000. Now, there is a bug in this game that I discovered when playing around and messing around with it, and that is it won't let me completely move around with the mouse. It kind of like the mouse get kind of like stuck halfway in the screen, so you can't like turn full 60. It's a bit of an annoying bug. Like I say, this is like first release. Amiberry has been around for a while, but I think it's really Amiberry has been largely been targeting and just emulating the basic classic Amigas, which is where it's still very strong at. Now it's going in and tipping its toes into the more advanced stuff and offering like graphics card, better graphics cards for faster just-in-time emulation and more advanced Amiga systems. I think the future's I'm very hopeful for the future of this platform anyway. And because I've got Hollywood Designer, I thought I'd give this a go on the Amiga on Amikit, and again, it runs surprisingly well. There are some bugs, there are some issues. I've got my own little app that I've developed called AmiLion, and unfortunately, the full version does crash on the current build. But again, I'm hoping in the future builds that they'll be able to fix these problems, iron out these bugs, and I do think it's again the speed. I was surprised how good and quick the whole thing seems to be between snapping between what I'd say is quite a complicated mainstream app. So potentially with this build, I could build Android apps, Windows apps. It's very impressive to me. And if you're wondering where all these backgrounds are, these are all my quick backgrounds that I made, and they're also part of the AmiLion package. If you choose to buy, I'll be putting a link in the description. And I'm going to go through the AmiLion package right now, actually. So this is basically what you get when you download it. You get free applications, and obviously PDFs open fine on this system. It uses the Linux side. Again, it's just tiny little pauses here and there, but I do feel that, you know, when the Raspberry Pi 5 comes along, by the time the Raspberry Pi 5, hopefully we'll have improvements in AmiBerry and on Amikit, and I think it's going to be a game changer. I think by that point it's just a game changer. I really do think, you know, this would become my mainstream Amiga at that point. It's just a shame that they legal people can't just get it ported over the Amiga OS 4. I mean, come on guys. This is what I want. This is what I want. I want to be able to do modern stuff on the Amiga stuff. I want to have access to all these things. You know, the Amiga's never going to be mainstream. We're not going to have the resources to support absolutely everything. But with like features like the rabbit hole, being able to access the Linux side, you know, always having Linux in the background, it's not ideal. It's not the best solution, but I think it's a way around the limitations that the Amiga community got in terms of the amount of apps we've got. So anyway, here's some of the wallpapers that I included in AmiLion. As you can see, quite a few designs with Raspberry Jam, obviously, and the Amikit logo. Board glass. And so this is main app, and I'm going to demonstrate the bug at the moment with the main app. It displays table field 2 not authorized. This doesn't happen if you disable just in time emulation, but the emulation is so slow then it's the app just breaks. So I quickly developed this GUI version of the app, basically, that you can still access a lot of the Raspberry Pi features, a lot of the rabbit hole features. There is this unusual request which I'm hoping that we might be able to get rid of. I'm not too sure. I think it's because OpenURL is linked to the Linux website, so they've decided that every website you open with the Amiga OS should open with the Linux host. That's the standard. You can change that. Sorry about that, there was a problem with the end of the video, so I'm just going to record the end bit again. I pretty much said everything I wanted to do. I'm just very impressed with this package. I'm not accustomed to be on the camera, but I hope you enjoyed this video. I would highly recommend getting an Amiga kit for your Pi if you've got one. I'm very excited to see what the future holds for this program, and thanks for watching.